What's up, people? We back. Another reaction video. Man says, I am 40. I wasted my life. Don't make the same mistakes that I made. Let's get into it.
I'm 40 and I wasted my life. I've got nothing to show for it. No house, no savings, no career that I'm proud of. I'm pouring everything that I have into this channel because I've got nothing else. And if you're in your 20s or even your early 30s and you think you've got time, I'm telling you right now, you don't.
Facts.
I wish I had someone in my life when I was younger, someone who actually cared enough about me and was smart enough to show me how life really worked, how women really operated, and what I actually needed to focus on.
Facts.
I didn't have that. I was getting all of my ideas about love and success and women from movies and idiots my own age who.
And that's why it's important to really have both parents in the household. You know, I can relate to this because I didn't have my father in my life. I didn't have my father there to teach me about how to be a man, teach me about women, teach me about purpose, teach me about, careers and how to stay focused and, how to find your purpose and your lane and pursue that. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it's caused me to make some bad decisions in life that has set me back. And it's happened to men, especially in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have our fathers in our lives for various reasons. Not because black men aren't good fathers, but the family court system is jacked up. It's jacked up.
Who didn't know anything at all. So there was no sense of urgency, no perspective, just vibes and dumb plans.
Yeah.
And this fantasy that everything would somehow work itself out. And it didn't. In my 20s, I thought I was, super deep and cool, and because I had tattoos and I knew some obscure bands and played drums, and I thought being different was a personality. I wasn't building anything real. I was just chasing sex and novelty, hooking up with women because I was addicted to the high, not the connection, just the rush. I spent more time crushing on church girls who didn't like me and hanging out at coffee shops and smoking cigarettes, drinking lattes and, going to hardcore shows. I did more of that than I did doing anything that would help me long term. I mean, at 23, I was playing ding dong ditch with my friends, like I was 13 again, thinking it was hilarious, which it was, but fun times. But I wasted so many hours just trying to get validation from people who didn't care if I lived or died. At the end of the day, I thought my life was meaningful because it looked cool in photos, looked cool on MySpace. But, all I was doing was burning through the most valuable years of my life. The years where I had the most energy, the most flexibility, and the most time to build something meaningful. Nobody told me I was wasting it. Nobody. And when the world sees you drifting, it doesn't intervene. It just keeps feeding you distraction after distraction and lie after lie while profiting off of your blindness and ignorance. And then fast forward into my late 20s, then I got into a relationship that wrecked my life. She got pregnant and everything changed. And I love my son. I would never undo that. But that relationship, it was a disaster.
Let me tell y'all, man, especially as a man, a bad relationship, a bad marriage, it can set you back. It can cause a lot of damage in your life, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And that's why it's so important. That's why I'm so passionate about helping men, and giving out advice, things that I learned on how to choose a spouse. Because that's, as a man, that's one of the most important things, the most important decisions you can ever make in your life. And it can, I'm not going to say make or break you, but it can set you back if you allow it to. A lot of men get to a point where they allow a divorce to hinder them for the rest of their life. And for the rest of their life, they're playing this, they're the victim and everybody's out to get them, and there's no love out there, there's no good women out there and all this stuff like that. Total BS. But those kind of situations will make you like that. It will make you like that. And, I empathize with him because I know how cruel family court laws are. I know how hard it is just to fight to get time with your own child. I know what it's like to experience a woman using a child as a pawn, as a weapon against you. And it's unfortunate for the child. It's hurting the child. It's hurting the child more than anybody. But I can relate to this, man. This happens every single day. Every single day, because us as men, we don't get the guidance. We're not told what's real about relationships and women and how to move and go about, our business. We don't learn this stuff until later on in life, or we learn through trial and error. When you don't have that father figure in your life, you have to go out there and experience these mistakes for yourself in order to learn. Everything you can't learn from, just looking at somebody else's life. Some things you can, but that's why it's just important to be present in, our kids' life, and not only be present, but have both the mother and father there in the household. I don't believe in co-parenting. I think co-parenting is demonic. I really do. Co-parenting is a new thing. It is a new thing. Back in the 70s, 80s, co-parenting was not like we know it today. It was not like we know it today. And I think people have settled for co-parenting or think it's okay or made it okay because they feel like, well, at least you have both parents in your life in some capacity. 9 times out of 10, it's the mom, with the mom has the kid. The father is stopping by, spending time here and there, picking the kid up, doing little things, but it's not the same as the mother and the father being in the household together. So, man, keep your families together. If you make a family, don't wreck your home, because it ain't nothing out here. You think it's something out here better than what you got? Man, people learn really, really quickly that it's not a lot out here, especially in this day and time. A lot of people don't even want to be married, let alone deal with a single mom with a kid with past trauma and hurt. Man, I can go on about that all day, but let's keep going.
I did not know how to choose wisely at all. I confused chaos and passion and intensity with love.
Yeah.
Because no one ever taught me the difference. I thought it was normal for things to be dramatic and unpredictable. I thought that meant we were meant to be or something. I don't know. But instead, I don't know what was going on, but instead I ended up in family court fighting for time with my own son, treated like an intruder and a criminal for wanting to be a father.
Whew. You preaching, brother. You preaching, man. family court is evil. It is evil. It is the presumption that, or assumption, excuse me, assumption that the woman is the better parent or the more responsible parent, and in a lot of cases, the woman isn't. Is the assumption that it's best for the mother to have primary custody, and you as a father, they say you have rights. They say you have rights, but you're in the court fighting for your rights. The mother don't have to fight for her rights. She's already given them rights. She's given them rights from birth. From the birth of that child, she's given those rights. You as a father, you have to fight for those rights in court. If you connect yourself with a woman, that's keeping you away from your child, that's coming up with lies, that's being manipulative, you have to fight. A good father. And I commend this guy for coming up here and just being vulnerable, because this is not easy. This is like when I dropped my divorce video. It was hard for me, but I know it was something that people needed to hear, because I knew it was going to help a lot of people, and it did. And I'm so happy that I did that I was vulnerable like that, because people need to hear real life stories, and people need to see that you can overcome, a tragic time in your life, that you can overcome hurt, depression, all these things. You can overcome that. But this takes guts, man. This takes guts. So I commend you, bruh. But I know how family court can be. And family court laws need to be updated. They need to be updated. The family court laws that we live by and we're governed by today, they're from like the 50s. The 50s and the 60s. It's 2025 and we're still living on family court laws from 70, 75 years ago. It's crazy. It is crazy, man.
And then in my 30s, my 30s weren't the best years of my life. You hear that a lot. Your 30s will be the best years of your life, 30s and 40s. 30s were a nightmare. I was broke. I was depressed. I was isolated, missing my son constantly, and dealing with games and lies and schemes my ex would pull to destroy the bond between me and my son.
Man.
I wasn't just dealing with grief. I was dealing with a system that didn't care if I disappeared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And unfortunately, that's the system that we deal with. That's the system that we deal with. I mean, and it's unfortunate because the kids hurt behind this, man, and I want my daughter to know that I fought for her. Like, I spent my last dime to make sure that I could be in her life, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you got to spend all this money in court and on lawyers and stuff like that just to get time with your kid. It's really unfortunate, man. When all that money could go towards your kid's college fund, your kid's first car, it could benefit the kid a whole lot more than just throwing it away in family court over little petty stuff. And a lot of times, the stuff that you're fighting over in court, it ain't even worth fighting over. It ain't even, it really don't have anything to do with the child most of the time. It don't have nothing to do with the child. Because how vulnerable can I get right now? How vulnerable can I get right now? shoot, I guess I done been vulnerable with my divorce video, but I pay my child support. A good amount of money too. Good amount of money. More money than I think a 3-year-old needs. My daughter is on my health insurance, and I'm telling you, this kind of thing is so common. My daughter's on my health insurance, vision, dental, all that stuff. I've always been responsible when it came to taking care of my daughter, and I have to fight in court to get time or fair custody with my daughter. So I understand what the guy's going through. I understand what he's going through. Let's see. Let's finish the rest of the video, because I understand what he's going through, man. I've been there. Been there, done that.
Too, in my 20s, I was no longer that 27-year-old stuck in a 500 days of summer mindset, falling for manic pixie dream girls, just because they liked the Shins too. Now I saw the red flags clearly. Girls with baby rabies, daddy issues, manipulation, all of it. I could spot it instantly.
Yes, when you go through something like this, you can spot all the red flags. When you go through and you see the red flags and those red flags affect you, you can spot the red flags. And I respect my child's mother. I respect her. But it was red flags there that I could have been aware of and said, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is gonna work.
I was like a bloodhound for that kind of thing. It's easy to detect now.
It is.
That's the part that stings the most. Now I'm 40. I hate my job. But it's not just that. I'm disillusioned by the world. Once you see how everything really works, how broken it all is, you cannot unsee it.
And this is the part where I talk about, some men allow these type of things to just damage them for the rest of their lives. And let me tell y'all, fellas, it is happiness, it is joy, it is peace on the other side of divorce. It is happiness, it is joy, it is peace on the other side of divorce. It's not over. Don't allow one bad situation to ruin your whole mentality and thought process when it comes to relationships and marriage. Because I take some accountability for some of the decisions that I made, in my past marriage. You have to. It's not all just one person. It's some things that I could have worked on. I could have done different. But the difference is men typically don't leave their marriage. In divorce, 90% of the time, women leave. 90% of the time, women leave. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Because you broke up a home, you hurt a child, and a lot of women are selfish. They don't get it. They don't care about that the child doesn't have their father in their life. That is so selfish. They don't care. They don't care that child is missing their father. They don't even want to know that child is missing their father, because in their mind, they think that what's best for the child is for them to be in their life and for their child to only know and have a relationship with them. And then the child gets, out of control, and now they can't control the child, and now they want you to come get them. You want me to be the villain. You want me to correct the bad behavior. I'm telling you, man.
Everything feels fake. The economy is a scam. Inflation is gutting families. People are more isolated than ever before. No one's honest. No one's fulfilled. And there's a deep apathy baked into everything now. That's why I'm here. This isn't a content hobby for me. This is me refusing to stay silent. This is me using what I have left to build something real, because the clock is ticking. And also, if I die before I can tell my son any of this, before he can know, I mean, he's almost 11, but I want my son to know that his dad didn't just give up, that I fought very hard and went through a lot, and that I bled in silence.
I feel you, bro.
That I fought to stay in his life tooth and nail. I fought to become something that he could be proud of. And I fought against a system that was way bigger than myself, that tried to break me. And so this channel, Dad Mode and Dark Mode, is part of that fight. Wow. It's my record. It's my time capsule, my legacy. It's my proof that I didn't just drift off into silence and was just passive. And I hope one day, when he's ready, he'll understand all of this. And so, if you're in your 20s right now and you're listening to this, stop thinking you've got unlimited time.
He's right. You don't have as much time, that you think you have. And, I think what's unfortunate about what he said about, his son, growing up and seeing how he fought, is that by the time his son grows to the age where he understands all the manipulation and stuff that his mom, was doing, I'm not going to say it's too late, but it's kind of too late, because now you're doing damage control. Because the damage is already done. The damage is already done. Now, that kid is going to be in a situation to where, okay, they already don't have a relationship with their father. Then when they get it old enough to the age where they realize the games that mom was playing, and that's going to make them hate their mom. So you got a child now that trying to build a relationship with the father they was kept from, and rethinking the relationship with the mother that's been in their life. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't end well for the child. So if you're not going to be married, and you're not going to keep your home together, keep your marriage together, fight for your marriage, work on yourself. If you're not going to do that, the least you can do is let the father be in their life. That's the least you can do. No resisting, I mean, I think it's crazy that you want to go pick up your child and spend time with your child, and that person is like denying you of that. It's women out here that would die to have a man that wants to be in their child's life. But unfortunately, you have women out here that don't believe it stink. They don't believe their it stink, and they don't know how the world works, and they're selfish. And it's just the truth. It's reality. It's reality, man.
Stop doing it. You don't have unlimited time.
You don't.
You
make good decisions.
Think it's harmless to keep chasing women and wasting money and avoiding responsibility. But one day you'll wake up and you'll realize you've got no leverage. You've got no power, absolutely no clarity, and no way to get those years back. One day you will wake up and you will be 40. You will be stuck working a job that you hate with nothing to show for it except memories that don't even matter.
My goodness.
That you constantly think about, and it leaves you with no air in your lungs. This pain, you know it. You know what that pain is when you think about, what once was. But yet every hour you waste now is a debt you're going to have to pay later.
Woo!
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That was a bomb. That was a bomb. I got to give him a bomb on that. That was a bar.
You should be building something.
Yes.
Skills, discipline, financial stability, wisdom.
Yes.
A backbone. And if you don't know where to start, I wrote something for you. It's called Dark Mode Protocol. You can find the link in my channel description. I'll even leave it in the video description as well. And it's not inspirational fluff. It's not a self-help book. It's a survival guide for men who are sick of being lied to and want to start thinking clearly and acting with purpose.
That's dope.
I'll go ahead and also whatever it is, I'll leave the link on the screen too to go read it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and you're building something, and comment if this hits hard for you. Let me know your story, where you're at. More importantly, send this to a man who's drifting through life and still thinks it's fine.
Man, this was awesome. I hope you got a lot out of this video. Man, shout out to the content creator. I'm going to drop his link in the description. So you can go follow him. You can watch his videos, because that was really good. And I second everything he said. Don't just float through life. Have a plan. Be intentional. Don't let people get you off your purpose. While you're young, and I'm still kind of young. I'm 35. But time flies so fast, man. It feel like I was just in college. I was just a freshman in college at Elizabeth City State University not long ago. But that's how fast time flies. It just happens like that. You're living and you look back in 10 years, out of here, gone. So, be intentional. If you don't have your father in your life, find, an older man who's married, who's successfully married, who can give you some good advice, some wisdom, not just make you out to be this soft simp type guy. I ain't saying that you got to be straight red pill, but the red pill society has some great information for men. And I think a lot of men are waking up now and seeing the tricks of a lot of women, the gains of a lot of women, and men are just, it's a lot of men that rather be alone than to deal with something like this, to deal with the woman that's keeping you away from your child. Manipulation, games, family court. All for what? All for what? So that was a good one. I hope it blessed you. I'm out. Peace.